Going live, going live. Johnny Five is live. What's going on, everybody? Bart here, and thank you again for stopping by Tully Television. We're in the merch tonight. Um, yeah, so it's our weekly stream here on Tully Television, but instead of Thursdays, we do it Sundays for November because really Thanksgiving is kind of difficult to do a lot of different things anyway. So I figured for November, just keep it simple and do Sundays instead and take it from there because then December is Christmas. New Year will be coming up after that. So be see how we go from there too with the live streams. But I want to thank everyone for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Means the world to us here at the channel. And got a couple of things to talk about this week. Um, I know I'm going to try to stay away from uh, certain genres and kind of start concentrating on um, like holiday or well, like this week I kind of watched Friday, the movie Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Uh, got a big dude, tiny, but he plays the character Debo in Friday. Now, oh my god, I just want to. I was impressed to find out that uh, this was all done on $3.5 million. That movie Friday made 27 million, almost 28 million. So even if you round it up, 28 million. Did two sequels. Um, I seen after I seen Friday, I put on a sequel next Friday, uh, the next day in this world Saturday, and to be honest with you, I liked the sequel. I didn't mind the sequel. I thought it was pretty funny. Um, sorry, my eyes itchy. I thought the sequel was pretty funny. I thought the third one was Menza kind of lost its magic over as most movies do when you start making sequels. Sequels when you start making parts two and three and four, unless you have a solid format in which that first movie sets up a bunch of different things you can do for following movies. Friday was kind of hard to do that, to have sequels like that because uh, then the real sequel should have been Saturday and Sunday. You know what I mean? Where um, something else comes up, and then because I like how it portrayed real life problems and what you go through with your friends, your family, and what have you. But yeah, just go. Well, it's hard to do that too because in the sequel, not everyone came back to do their to play a part. Like Chris Tucker didn't come back, and I thought that was a big downfall for that movie franchise because um, I think Ice Cube and Chris Tucker had good chemistry together. I don't know what it was necessarily that drove them apart, or even if there was. I mean, not drove them apart. I don't mean to make it sound like that, but like made it where he didn't come back to second or third one. Um, I haven't really researched that either for some reason, but uh, be something interesting to look up after I do this. But yeah, he didn't come back for the second or third one, but the first one basically was that Ice Cube got fired on his day off the day before, and then he gets up and his dad is busting his chops to get a job, and his mom is kind of clowning him a little bit, and his sister, and but his friend Smokey, aka Chris Tucker, just wants to get him high all day, and we Craig Ice Cube has never gotten high before, so finally he gets high with Smokey, and he starts tripping because the weed they're smoking, it belongs to a guy called Big Worm, and Smokey didn't exactly pay him yet for the weed. He just got fronted for the weed, and then uh, smoked it all and didn't sell any of it to make any money back to give to the guy. And so he wants to come back and beat him up later on that day. And then we have Debo, played by Tiny. He's known as Tiny. His nickname is Tiny, but he's a really big dude. Um, and he plays like the neighborhood bully, and he just wants to rob everybody. And that's basically what he does until near the end of the movie, but I'll get into that. Um, but yeah, at one point, Debo makes Smokey go into this neighbor's house with him to try to steal some money. And when they come out, they have money. Debo has the money, and Smokey was like, "Yo, yeah, we made $200." And Debo was like, "No, I made $200." And he then just takes off. And there's this neighborhood girl that Craig likes, and her mother is dating Debo. And so that again will come into later near the end of how that works out with Debo. But um, basically, they go through uh, a plan on how to avoid getting snagged with Big Worm. That works out for the most part because it just winds up hashing itself out in that regard. Um, but then Debo near the end of the movie winded up hitting uh, the friend's mother in front of in front of the neighborhood. There was an argument. Everyone came out, and Craig, the girl that Craig likes, her mother was the one that got hit. She had this big black eye, and everyone's kind of like telling him off, and but no one's really doing anything because he wants to fight. So finally, him and Craig fight, and father had tried to tell him earlier, using a gun doesn't make you a man. Using your fist does, and that's what Craig does. He winds up fighting Debo 1-on-1, and they both kicked each other's ass, whatever, butt ass. They wound up kicking each other's ass, and the cops come and arrest Debo and take him away. And then you find out in the sequel that it's been 4 years later when he escapes jail to try to kick Craig's ass again. But I'm not going to get too much into the sequels or what have you, just into the first one mainly. But that's how it ends, and then he wins the girl at the end. Um, and then there's this one guy early in the movie where Debo took his bike and chain, and he ended up taking the chain and bike back and taking it off. And yeah, happily ever after. Oh, I think there was he wound up. Oh my goodness, Debo took $200 from him. The $200 that he took from the neighbor, Craig wound up taking and using for the house. So he kind of gave like the $200 to the dad or whatever. Or even if he used it for himself and bought food for the house, whatever the case may be. I'm overthinking that part of it, but yeah, he winds up taking the money, and then everyone takes back what he stole from them, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. I thought it was a pretty funny movie. Everyone associates Ice Cube with NWA, and uh, when these type of artists try to make it into the mainstream outlet, it's hard sometimes because you could be good at one thing and not necessarily good at another thing, and doesn't mean you're not like a talented artist. Just different fields of entertainment require different things, and I'm kind of glad that Ice Cube was able to make that movie because it was fairly cheap to make for what it was, and it showed that he can do comedy because he was able to also do drama when by doing Boys in the Hood, and I'm sure he's played other parts like that. I'm trying to, because the only things I remember of him now are um, the "Are We There Yet" series films. I think they're like a family friendly movies and stuff like that. So these two parts are mainly what I associate him with: the queer character from Friday, and then Doughboy from Boys in the Hood. It showed the world, though, like I said, that he's a good actor, being able to portray unique insight on these movies because he's like lived these type of lifestyle. He um, brings authenticity to it, and that brings a lot forward when you're an actor. If you can authentically portray a part, it comes out better in a lot of instances. So, you know, so if you haven't watched Friday, if you haven't watched Friday, if you haven't watched the movie Friday, definitely watch it. It's 8 out of 10. You know, if you're not into stoner comedies like that, then you may not like Friday because it's very much, pretty much two friends trying to get high all day while trying to figure out how to solve their problems. And like I said, if that's not your type of movie, then that's fine. You know, not everyone has to like the same type of movies or comedies, but if you're one to like those type of comedies, you'll like this movie. Um, the next thing I want to talk about, this was actually good. The movie Dune. Dune. Okay, Oscar Wilde. He plays Lord Leto Atterus. Josh Brolin plays Gurney Halleck. Zendaya plays Chani. I forgot to look up who Jason Momoa plays, but he plays a soldier in the movie. Timothy Chalamet plays Paul Atreides, and Rebecca Ferguson plays Lady Jessica. Batista plays Harkonnen. Harkonnen. Basically, this movie is looks like it's set in a futuristic type of future or other solar system, other type of universe, and basically, Oscar Wilde's family is entrusted with uh, protecting the production of this thing called spice. And spice basically can be used as a hallucination drug, or it can also be used for like energy uses. So the ruling the ruling empire, the people that are running this empire are entrusting this family to run the planet that makes the spice that basically the whole universe revolves around this spice. And at one point, we know that there's these people that live on this planet that the spice is made. There's also big sand worm creatures that come out and try to swallow your machinery and people whenever there's noise. So there's a lot of things that you have to worry about in that regard. And also, there's people there, that, like I said, that are either political or warriors. Both have a known agenda on how their own home planet should be run. They don't really appreciate uh, the overbearing, um, I guess, empire reach on their planet because they're basically sucking the planet dry in their view, and but they kind of also rely on. I'm trying to like a chosen one type of prophecy thing, in which there be someone that will come and help bring both factions together. It looks like, uh, or at least come and save this planet and these people. Due to some treachery on the planet, the first thing that winds up happening is when Oscar Wilde is out with Josh Brolin and his son on a tour. The sandworm comes and winds up devouring this whole armored truck type of vehicle. If you ever are familiar with Star Wars and the group of people known as the Jawas, they have these armored vehicles. It kind of looks like a big, it's like a square, and it's big, but it's armored, and they kind of drive these things to collect the spice where they collect the spice from. And the worm comes up, grabs the vehicle, and the son tries to go out and save people that were on this boat, a vehicle that were in this vehicle. I was going to call it a boat, a sand boat. um, he almost dies. The father gets mad at him. He goes off to think about what, because he's kind of next in line. He's like the last of the line after the father to uh, carry on the legacy, of the family. And there's this nice little family crest ring that gets passed down to the son. The mother, the wife of this Lord Oscar Wilde, um, comes from a people that seem to be some sort of telepath abilities, telepathy, and she tries to teach him how to harness that power. He was tested by putting his hand in this box because he's been experiencing these visions that are unexplained to him, and it's the side of the mother coming out in him. Um, to be able to interpret, I guess, images that may or may not happen. And he's been having these images of Zendaya's character, Channy. And I'd have to say, Zendaya, everyone did a great acting performance in this movie. I really liked the movie a lot. think it looks good. I think in certain parts, the CGI is too dark to really see anything, so I kind of got me disconnected from feeling connected to the movie, which disappointed me a little bit because other than that, it was really a well acted movie, and the other parts were really looking good. Um, there's going to be a part two to this, basically due to these zealots of, or I'm not even going to call them zealots, these citizens of this planet. There's certain plans that are made by the ruling uh, people that want to take over from the empire and do their own thing. They kill Oscar Wilde's character. Spoilers, I guess. And the mother and son have to run off. And if you haven't watched Dune or aware of Dune, then I'm sorry. But as we all know, I don't really stray from spoilers too much. But yeah, it's been out for a few weeks anyway. Um, the so the mother and son go off, and they do the classic running into this sandstorm to make it look like they're dead, but they're not really dead. They're able to ride through it and come across some of the people trying to save their planet, Chani and her people. And some believe that they may have found the person able to save them. Others are not so sure because of his age. Of course, they're talking about the son. And I'm pretty sure in part two they're going to deal more with his visions becoming stronger, his connection to these people becoming stronger, and taking the words of his father with him and winning the day, so to speak, in the next installment of Dune. What's Grandma doing at the dunes, Kip? Batista actually did a good job too. He never really fails too much in the things he does acting wise too. I have to say, Batista is a nice little um, bright spot when it comes to acting. I have yet to, even watching that family movie, My Spy, with him in it. That movie was pretty solid. You know, as a family movie. Iced tea. Last thing I'm going to talk about for the night is a couple of those Disney Plus shows that they released like little trailers for a couple days ago at the time of this recording, anyway. One of them I like. It looks really good as She-Hulk. Um, the little bit of the look that they did show for her looks good. Um, the actress seems to be okay. Uh, it's not gonna. She hasn't warned me off of the show for any sort of reason yet. I actually like the little homage paid to the '70s show where it looks like her and Mark Ruffalo do the '70s commercial where she does "Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry." That line, that was, like I said, from the '70s show. Bruce Banner, so to speak, at that time had said it to a journalist who was trying to corner him into admitting to things he didn't do or may have done as the Hulk, but can't really be proven. Because how can Bruce Banner, this, for lack of a better term, scroggly guy, do what these other reports are saying? But he's always around. Um, that was before, like, into the comics where everyone knew Bruce Banner was the Hulk and stuff. Um, Back then, it was kind of like, until he changed in front of you, like, oh, it's true, the Hulk. Oh no, or oh yes, depending on how you're looking at it. Um, but the Hulk, yeah, is in the She-Hulk series. They basically show scenes of him in there trying to help her. So we're going into it with her already being the She-Hulk, which is an interesting. Um, like they just might really start off to show her, showing the reason right off the bat why she had to become She-Hulk, and then the rest of, uh, because I guess you can't forget that there's been a set amount of time from Infinity War to Endgame, and then on, where all that time he could have been training her and be doing that. So it wouldn't be surprising now that there's a She-Hulk. So put it that way. People know that what Thanos did and Skrulls and this and that. Uh, People aren't going to be surprised by another Hulk. It would make sense to them, I guess. Living in that universe. Um, but yeah, it looks like it could be an interesting show. It looks like, unless you're into lawyer comedy type of shows, I'm hoping it can be kind of like a night court type of humor to it. But you know, what do you guys know about night court? Nothing. um, yeah, they can make it into a night court type of thing, or something similar to where it's yeah, like a lawyer comedy, or something along those lines. Add some dramatic themes throughout, and really could do a lot with this show. Especially with Daredevil kind of confirmed now in a way, and Jessica Jones too could be a great little add in down to maybe season two, where she uses Jessica Jones's private investigating agency to use as her, in conjunction with her lawyering business and consulting business. If you want, do something like that. They can work for the community. They can do a lot of different things with the She-Hulk. She's been in the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. Um, yeah, so she's been a pretty uh, interesting and integral character for many years, decades. So that and Moon Knight. Moon Knight looks really interesting to me too. He is a hero that deals with multiple personality disorder. Um, there's three or four personalities that really come out, each with their own set of skills. One is like a billionaire that's able to fund these operations. Then we have Mark Spector, and then we have a Frenchman that's also a personality, and then Moon Knight himself. And Moon Knight basically is an avatar for uh, Kenosha, god of the moon, and he uses Mark Spector basically as his way to exact justice and those type of values into the world through Mark. the things that he wants to see happen. And, uh, Mark was a mercenary before that, and then that's when Kenosha grabbed him at his weakest point and kind of converted him into uh, this avatar of Moon Knight. And a really interesting character. He's been around, like I said, for decades himself. He's been uh, also an Avenger. He's been part of many, like the Defenders. He's been a part of, I believe. He is got the money. He's got the knowledge on how to fight. He's kind of like a really good detective. But what separates him from Batman is the multiple personality disorder. That's kind of what uh, separates the two. But yeah, those two shows. I'm pretty interested in those two shows, and I'll be covering those when those come out. And Hawkeye, can't forget Hawkeye. Oh my God, Jeremy Renner. Whoop whoop. Yes, when these shows are coming out, I'll be doing episodes of them. And yeah, I just want to. That's all I really want to talk about this week, guys. I hope I can find you in great spirits. And thank you so much again for stopping by. Uh, like, comment, share, subscribe down below with that red subscriber. Hit all on that notification bell there. And until next time, peace.